It's Clark and Perry on the case.
Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry do what it takes. Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry investigate.
The activities and interests of local artists in the Windy City's finest throughout both Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Alberta. Available on TELUS, Optic TV, On Demand, VidFlex, YouTube, and more for limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Da-na-na-na.
Hello, once again. I'm Clark, he's Perry. Welcome once again to the Windy City's finest. I'm joined here by our first week and first appearance in Medicine Hat, Christine Ottley, local actress here. Christine, thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime.
I've been really looking forward to actually this meeting because, well, we are actually one of the same. We are also actors, and you are an actress as well too. I'm very excited to kind of just delve into your headspace and see, well, what brought you to acting in the first place.
What we find in there.
Yeah, exactly. So if you could break this down for me, where would you say your artistic story began?
Probably quite a while ago. I remember in like elementary school, I don't remember what grade, but we did like these crappy little plays,
Yeah.
you know, in the library.
Yeah.
And
The classic school plays.
yeah, you know,
all
like
that,
I don't
yeah.
even remember what it was really about, but I just remember being like, wow, this is pretty fun.
Mhm.
And then I kind of carried that on. So I did drama in high school, obviously. Then after I graduated, I was like, I'm going to be an actor.
Mhm.
And I was obviously still living in Medicine Hat, and there's not a lot of opportunity in Medicine Hat.
No.
No, not a ton. So I got an agent in Calgary, and I did some background stuff, and then
Yeah.
I got a job, like a real job, well, kind of a real job. And I was like, oh, they're giving me money steadily. Wow. So that kind of fell off. And then about a year ago, we got a new manager at work, and I don't like him. So I freaked out and quit,
Yeah.
moped around for 2 weeks, and then I was like, I can do whatever I want now.
Yeah, yeah. Now we have you as well. We're going to be featuring you here later today and tonight.
Lucky
I should
you.
say, for pole dancing as well too. I'm very excited for that.
Oh, I
first
can't
off.
wait.
Uh,
You're gonna look beautiful.
oh, good.
What if it awakens something inside of you?
I think it might.
I think it might.
I think it might.
You'll be flipping your hair around,
Yeah.
shaking your tits.
But where would you say that you began that journey as well too?
That was quite a while ago too, not as long as acting.
Mhm.
Less of a storied journey. That was probably 7 or 8 years ago. Off and on. It hasn't been like the full 7 years, or I'd be much better than I am.
Hey.
But no, that's one of a girl that I actually did a play with
Right.
here was teaching a beginner class, and she'd post it on Facebook. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'll go do that. So I did that, and I was horrible.
Yeah.
So bad. Like, I have no idea what my body's doing ever. But I really enjoyed it, and I just kept on with it. And I did eventually get a little better.
Yeah.
And then I started teaching beginners as well.
Yeah.
And then through COVID is when I kind of dropped off. It was a lot of weird, you know.
And now
They were
this
closed.
pretty much as
Yeah.
well too. Post COVID, you're getting a chance to teach a fresh beginner into it as well too.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. You mentioned that it was kind of you were kind of a little clumsy in getting into it at
Like
first.
a baby deer.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
it help with your like body awareness?
I think so. Like, still not great.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll still do something and somebody will be like, straighten your leg. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is it not
Yeah.
straight?
Yeah.
But it definitely helped.
Yeah.
And now
sure.
because like I teach beginners, obviously. So you'll be demonstrating something and they'll be like, how do you make it look so good? Like,
Mhm.
well, I've been doing it for like 7 years.
7 years as well
Yeah,
too.
like it takes a while.
That sounds like quite a bit of experience.
You would think so.
Yeah. Well, what would you say would in your eyes, what would be your greatest accomplishment?
Pole wise or just everything in general?
Let's focus on pole wise.
Okay. I can't anymore because I got lazy.
Okay.
But I used to be able to do the middle splits, and I could do like
Mm.
a swim through sort of thing. So you start in like a pancake, which is sort of a straddle on the ground.
Okay.
And then your torso is on the ground. And then you kind of pull through into the middle splits. And that was like my crowning achievement,
Wow.
in my opinion.
No, that sounds like a very
Yeah.
complicated move. I can't wait
It's
to.
you won't be able, well, I have a video actually.
Oh,
if
really?
you want to, from when I could do it. But yeah, they're not so flat anymore.
Well, we might have to take.
Yeah.
I might have to just take some notes once
Yeah.
once I see that as well too before we get to our next filming.
I
feature.
think it's impressive. But of course I do. I think
Yeah.
everything I do is impressive.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. So now kind of broadening the horizon of that question as well too. So no longer pole dancing, but what would be you, as you consider, your greatest accomplishment outside of pole dancing?
Outside of pole dancing, just in life in general.
Sure.
I think probably, this sounds insane, but quitting my job with no plan
Yeah.
and then just pursuing what I want to do.
That takes a lot of bravery.
Yeah, right? Like, stupid. I remember just being like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I have a mortgage.
Yeah.
I got bills.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was kind of like now or never, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know, I mean, if you don't try, you'll never know. And
Exactly.
it was prime. You can't really have a normal job with acting. I'm sure you know.
It's tough.
It's hard to work around it.
It's kind of a gig mentality, right?
It is,
So you're always
yeah.
hopping from spot to spot and making ends meet as well too.
Yeah.
Finding some freelance work definitely can help, but
Mm.
that's at least what I've been told.
Apparently.
Yeah. But kind of bringing it back. So let's. So what are you still hoping to accomplish in that case?
Well, I mean, ideally, I would like to not have to have a real job. You know, I'd
Of
like to be
course.
able to support myself with acting.
Yeah.
Pole dancing, I would like to be able to get back to doing the middle splits.
Yeah. that
I think
sounds
if you
fun.
guys had pushed me like the original date, I probably could have had it by then.
Yeah, that's right. We had you
But
earlier
yeah.
as well too, because we've been looking very forward to getting into our feet, into our bodies in Medicine Hat as well too, with the
Of
challenge.
course, yeah.
And well, yeah, once again, thank you for agreeing
You're
to
welcome.
meet us as well too. Well, in that case, what would you say that you want people to know about you?
About me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just to any viewers that we have right now, what is something that you want people to know about you?
I don't even know. Oh my God.
Mhm.
We're getting deep. I guess I just want them to know that I exist. And if you happen to be making any sort of films, think about me.
Christine Ottley,
Yeah.
super friendly as well
Super,
too.
yes. I'm a delight. I'm super
But-
fun to work with.
No, that's great. Well, in that case, I guess my next question would be, so we've talked about a little bit of like and touched on your work-life balance a little bit and like your engagement into the and your beginnings of pole dancing. What would you say that you need more of in your life?
More of
Yeah.
free time would be cool.
Free time. Yeah.
Everybody likes free time.
And what would you do with it?
What would I do with it? Probably just more acting and
Yeah.
stretching and running. I run a lot for some reason. I don't know why.
Hey, so you run, just is that like helpful
Yeah.
for fitness? Like
yeah,
for
just
your own
general.
fitness?
I made this stupid goal this month,
Yeah.
which I did actually achieve.
Hey.
So I guess it's not that stupid. But to run like cumulatively, not all at once. I'm not insane.
Mhm.
150 kilometers in May.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think I'm at 156 or something.
Hey.
Yeah, so like I did it.
High fives right
But yeah,
there,
like
right?
why? My boyfriend's like, why? I'm like, I don't know, just see if I can, I guess.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, push your body to the limits. Again, it's
Yeah.
that body awareness piece,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's super
Yeah.
helpful.
So now I'm like a border collie. I wake up, I'm like, I gotta run.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Well, I guess in contrast to that question that I just asked, what do you need less of in your life?
Less of trailers. I hate trailers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's currently your profession right now. is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
not?
I wouldn't go so far as to say profession.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm very lucky. My boyfriend has a small business fixing
Mhm.
RVs and trailers. So
Yeah.
when I freaked out and quit my job, he was like, come help me fix the trailers.
Yeah.
So at least you're not moping around at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So it's nice that I can do that and still, be productive and make a little bit of money, but also have the freedom to be like, hey, I gotta go do this or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I'm
And-
really lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Very fortunate to have that chance and opportunity. And that's actually how I'd say we met in the first place and got
Yeah.
in contact for the first time. So
Yep.
that getting that flexible job schedule
Well,
is,
exactly.
is
Like I can
really
just,
beneficial.
oh, I'm gonna go to Lethbridge, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
bye.
That's awesome.
I'll just fix these alone then.
Yeah. Well, kind of on that piece of gratefulness, what would you say are 3 things you're most grateful for?
Most grateful for, well, yeah, definitely my boyfriend and the flexibility. Like I don't know how I would ever repay him for that.
Mm-hmm.
Really. 3. Oh, my friend, she'll kill me if I don't mention her. My friend Sam, she's like aggressively supportive.
Yeah.
Like every self-tape ever, she's like, do you need me to come over?
Yeah.
I'll read for it. I think she actually gets mad if I get somebody else too.
Oh,
Like
no.
she's like, what, I'm not good enough?
She just likes to be around.
She
be a
does.
part
She
of the
just, she
team.
really wants, she believes in me probably more than I do.
And
which is crazy because I believe in myself a lot.
yeah. And honestly, you need those people in your
No,
back
it's
corner,
true.
right?
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, the third thing would probably be my other friends because they're not quite as supportive because, like I said, she's aggressively. But they're still like, yeah, girl, get it.
Yeah, no,
you know, so
absolutely.
I'm really lucky to have a really strong support system.
Positive encouragement, that support system as well too, and I
For
mean,
sure.
lending a helping hand that really
Yes,
helps out.
yes.
I agree.
And interestingly enough, most of my other friends, not Sam, she was before pole, but most of them I met through pole.
Through pole dancing. as well,
Yeah,
too.
like we all just, I think I taught one of them or two or a couple, and then
Yeah.
the other one we just kind of collected along the way. Like it's weird.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like a little community. It's weird.
a nice little community as
Yeah,
well too.
we're like,
So,
join us.
so what exactly like do you get out of pole dancing?
Well, originally, because I started it when I wasn't really acting, and I think everybody
Mhm.
has like that need to create something,
Yeah,
and it was an outlet for that.
yeah.
Like I'm dancing, I'm being creative and active. It was really good exercise too,
Mhm.
because I don't really like to exercise that much.
Hey, I mean, a lot of it's very
Yeah.
difficult for people. right?
So it was nice to find something that didn't really feel like exercise, but was still really good exercise.
Mhm.
You know, you kind of trick yourself. You're like, I'm not really exercising, but
yeah,
you are. So
this might
that
be
was good.
This might be a dream come true for me because
Yeah,
I'm always
maybe
that person that says I work out, but I don't. So
liar.
this might
can't
might
just
be a
lie
thing.
about
Well, I actually don't just say, yeah, I work out. I say I'm thinking about working out.
Yeah, well, aren't
I'm
we all?
going to.
Yeah.
Everybody says that, right?
Yeah.
No, that's awfully fortunate. Well, we talked about support systems too. Like when things get tough, what do you do when things get hard?
Oh, I eat a lot of ice cream.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Mostly that.
Yeah. No, right on. I mean, do you have
What
a
else?
favorite flavor or?
Okay, this sounds crazy. There's this little local creamery, I guess, the
Yeah.
word, like they make ice cream, and they have this exclusive flavor with like the Home Hardware in Redcliffe or something, and
Okay.
it's candied maple bacon, and
Candied.
it's so good.
Sorry, candied maple bacon.
Yeah, ice cream.
Wow.
It's delicious.
That
If you are for some reason ever in Redcliffe, you should pick some up. It's so good.
I think we're gonna pay them a visit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the Home Hardware in Redcliffe. It's so
if
good.
we have time, if they're still open.
They're probably, I don't know their hours, but yeah, it's delicious. So probably that, or like swirls. You guys have swirls in Lethbridge now too, don't you?
We do, yes.
Yeah. So they're really good too.
Yeah. no,
Yeah.
that's fair. Hey, the more you know.
Ice cream.
So we talk about again some positive influences in your lives as well.
Are we going to talk about
too.
negative influences now?
Nope.
Damn it.
What would you consider one of the more early positive influences in your life?
Early positive influence. I went to a very small elementary school, and my class from pretty much the whole time, but from grade 2 to grade 4 or 5, I think, we had 3 or 4 kids. Like it was really small, so we had the same teacher
Mm-hmm.
for 3 or 4 years, and I think she really had a positive influence on my life just because she was there the whole time,
Yeah.
for those formative years, I guess you'd call them.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean teachers.
Yeah, they're
Shout out
great.
to teachers.
We should
right?
pay them more.
I agree. I definitely.
I couldn't
agree.
do it, man. Kids are awful.
Yeah.
Wrangling those. Summers off is not enough.
Yeah, it definitely can be tough for sure.
I couldn't do it. So yeah, good for her.
Yeah. So what would you consider to be most important to you now?
Most important to me now, I'm really into connecting with people right now. Like I said, I
Mhm.
found pretty much my entire friend group through pole.
Yeah.
Through acting, obviously, you connect with a lot of people. Which is weird because as a whole, I hate people.
Mm-hmm.
As a group, they're terrible. But individually, people are great.
Individually,
So yeah,
people are
I
reasonable.
want to individually meet people because they're better that way.
Yeah.
Large crowds can
Yeah. So through your network of pole, you're able to kind of find individuals that you want to connect with.
Well, yeah,
as
especially
too.
I don't teach anymore, but teaching beginner, you meet a lot of people, and they're all
Mhm.
they come from different places. It's never two that are the same. You're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch them grow too.
Yeah.
Because they're brand new. They don't know what they're doing. In the first week, they're all shy. And
Yeah.
And then by the end, they're, better.
I might be stark contrast. I like to be bold in my decisions
Just
as well
immediately
too.
you're like, yes, I'm here.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any of the things.
Oh,
that
you'll
I
be able to do
imagined,
some of it.
but we'll see how this goes.
There's actually one girl, she's kind of on the fringe of our friend group because she
Yeah.
spends a lot of time like hiking and stuff, so she's
Yeah.
not here on the weekends to hang out with us.
Mhm.
But she like won't use a mat. Like there's crash mats, obviously, because sometimes you can fall.
Mm.
And she like won't use it. She's like, I need to know that like I can't fall. I can't have that security there.
Yeah, you got to
So
be able to hold on.
that might be you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll let you use a mat if you want.
okay. Well, we'll see. We'll play it by ear.
Yeah,
as well, too.
but you know, if you
We have to see.
feel like it would impede your growth knowing that
Mhm.
you can fall, and you do
Mhm.
what you got to do. I'm not here to tell you how to
Right on.
live. Although maybe somebody should.
Maybe. Well, so I'd like to get a little bit I'd like to know a little bit more about where exactly you grew up and how exactly you feel about that too. So
Okay.
have you been born and raised here in Medicine Hat?
I was born in Winnipeg,
Winnipeg.
but we moved here when I was like 2. So
Okay.
born in Winnipeg, raised here.
Raised here.
Yeah.
And-
In this very neighborhood. Well, we paddleboarded at my parents' house and they're like just over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of roots and connections
Yeah,
here in
tons
Medicine
here.
Hat. How did you feel about like growing up here?
I used to hate it.
Yeah.
I don't really know why, because now I'm like, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I felt like, oh, it's too small. There's nothing going on. I always wanted to move to like a bigger city and blah, 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 blah. But now I'm like, it's nice and cheap here.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, the rent is cheap. Things are cheap. Like I wanted to move to Vancouver for a long time. But
Mhm.
who can afford to live in Vancouver?
Not
Not
many.
Not I.
People who don't live in Vancouver.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, no, that's interesting that you say that too, because we've found that when it comes to the smaller cities like Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, you'd be very surprised with the communities that are already kind of there.
Mhm.
You just need to go and find communities yourself, like you found Pole,
The group, yeah.
and that group, and you're able to find lots of folks as well too.
It's true.
They're small city, they're small town, big city energy, I find.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's lots of stuff.
Medicine
going
Hat's
on.
like weird too, because
Mhm.
it's not the smallest of towns, obviously.
Yeah.
But like it has a really small town feel. Like
Mhm.
everybody knows everybody's business, and you do like one thing wrong
Yeah.
if you own a business and you do something terrible, everybody knows. And,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's weird that way, but people say it's cliquey,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's true. I think it's just people don't really go out and do stuff anymore.
hmm
You know, like it's hard to just be like, I'm going to go do this thing alone. You know, like who wants to
Yeah.
go to a pole dancing class alone?
Yeah.
So if you don't already have friends, I think it's hard to make them, because it's hard to just go somewhere
Yeah.
alone and be like, hi, I'm here.
Would there be any influence in Medicine Hat to your artistry here?
No, I don't think so, actually.
No.
No,
That's
not
okay.
so much. I mean, I'm sure if I moved somewhere else, I'd be like, ah, yes, that is influenced by Medicine Hat.
Mhm.
But you know, since you're in it, I think it's hard to identify that.
It's more of the selection that's available, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That makes absolute sense as well too. I guess my next question too is that you just mentioned that family lives right down the road as well
Yeah.
too. Who do you say that you're most like in your family?
Oh God, I don't know. We always used to joke that I was adopted. So I guess none of them. I think I have traits from both of my parents. Like my dad
Yeah.
was a writer,
Yeah.
and I think I get some of my sense of humor from him.
hmm
But my mom is very independent. Like if she wants to do something, she's like, well, I'm going to build this shed.
hmm
I want a shed, so I'm going to build this shed. And she'll just do it. And I think I got a bit of that from her. Not that I'm out building sheds.
hmm
But, you know, if I want to do something, I'm like, well, I'll just go do it.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
interpret that. In
I'm
your
not going to
own
wait
way.
around for somebody else to come do it with me. or
Yeah.
do it for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm a mix of both of them. But I
Yeah.
don't really look like either.
But it's a go-getter attitude type
Yeah.
thing as well too.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Joanne's out there just doing stuff.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what, but she's out there doing it. I
That's
hope she doesn't watch this.
Well, looking back on your life and your time here in Medicine Hat, what is a memory that makes you instantly light up?
Instantly light up.
Mm,
I remember I live very close to a park,
right.
and when I was young, there's like a little pavilion, I guess you might call it, by this like scuzzy little lake, and they used to do stuff there in the winter and the summer, I think.
Right.
But for Easter, they used to have like little bunnies and chicks and Ukrainian Easter eggs you could decorate. And like, I don't know, for some reason that really sticks out in my mind.
All the vivid colors.
Yeah,
as a
just, you know,
child
doing
searching
like
for eggs.
ugly little egg designs. Because you're a kid, you don't know what you're doing. Like, you're bad at it. I think my parents saved those eggs too, like forever. Like, they must smell horrible. I hope they never broke. But like, I can just vividly remember this like weird little Easter egg.
Yeah.
And the chicks, I mean, they're cute.
Ah, adorable, right?
So cute.
Well, kind of turning up the notch a little bit as well too.
Oh no.
So, spending time in here in Medicine Hat, what makes your life purposeful?
Purposeful. Creating, I guess, a lot. My friends, I feel, make me feel purposeful.
Feel whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Don't tell them I said that. Don't want it to go to their heads, you know.
That's fair.
But
That's
you know,
fair.
like it's really nice feeling like you're part of a community.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
They're really helpful for that.
So being part of the community makes you feel purposeful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, words. Good job.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
No, that's great. I guess what values are most important to you then?
Values. I don't know if I have very strong values. That's terrible. Yeah.
You could argue community might be one of those.
Well, yeah, but I feel like I've said that like 8 questions in a row.
That's fair.
It's going to get redundant.
That's
They're going to be
fair.
like, oh, this girl only cares about talking to people. Yeah, no, community for sure.
Yeah.
Like that. I actually just had a conversation with a guy at the shop. He was talking about how he doesn't feel like there's much community anymore. They're always an old guy. Old people always have motorhomes. But yeah, he was talking about that, and I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm kind of sad now. Like, it's not like I don't really know my neighbors.
Yeah. Well, let's delve deeper into that. Like, what
let's
do
be
you
sad.
what do you define as community?
What do I define as community?
Yeah. Like, what exactly? Because it sounds like they have different connection styles. So, and you feel like it's very one-on-one. Do you feel more personable with people if you sit down with a coffee?
Yeah.
Or is it more of, are you still happy messaging online?
I'm happy online for the most part.
Yeah.
But like, it's not the same, I don't think. And it's harder to see them as a person, I think, for me. Not like, that sounds bad. There's obviously still people. But like, it's not the same.
No, like, I'm actually, I think you could argue that it's hard to kind of get the actual individual when it's literally just a phone number.
Yeah, it's just
that you've named
text.
their name, right?
Like, you don't get the same feel. It's not, you don't get a sense of them, I guess, unless they have a really strong writing style. But nobody does.
No, I feel more people communicate via like GIFs or GIFs, depending on how you want to pronounce
I am
it.
firmly in the GIF camp. I'll die on that hill.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, just so you know.
All right. Well, no beef here.
Say if you pronounce it GIF, you can get out.
Yeah.
We're done.
Interview's over.
Yeah, I can't take it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no. So I find that lots of people find they're able to satisfy different needs with different connection styles as well too. So no, that's very interesting. So you definitely like the one-on-one talks as well too. And I mean, you're very personable even with me, and I imagine with Dan as well too. So that's been but that's good.
Just kidding, Dan.
That's a really good thing to have and know your strengths as well too. I myself am a very orchestratal person. When it comes to just messaging, I'm very like, let's meet up this time. Or like, hey, can you do me this favor? Or a question.
Straight to the point.
Like yeah, more to the point. Whereas we're able to kind of flow conversation all over the place, because that's how I find people actually are. They're never as
usually
forward.
how they are.
Anyways. Moving on, so kind of to more of your dreams and aspirations once again. If you could have one wish, what would you wish for?
I would definitely wish that I didn't have a second job and I was just acting.
Just acting.
Just acting. That's a pretty boring wish. I probably should wish for more wishes or something. Am I allowed to do that?
Sure.
Sometimes I feel like there's a genie clause. You're not allowed to do that. But yeah, that would definitely be my wish. Yeah. Just like, doesn't even have to be like big. Just enough that I'm paying my bills with acting.
Just as enough gigs to do this. Now, do you imagine that in more of a like a TV series or in like a movie? Or...
I like the idea of TV because it's really steady.
Yeah.
You know, I like that's kind of nice.
If
But I
you're getting-
mean, it's acting.
Yeah. If you
Is
can
it ever
get
going to
on-
be steady?
Well, and again, it's that gig mindset, right?
It is,
You just
yeah.
gotta be hop, skip, and a jump.
Ready
over
to
here, right?
go do it. Yeah.
No, that's good. If you could travel anywhere, where would you go?
I would go to Germany.
Germany.
Just anywhere. No. Probably Berlin. One of my friends, I don't even know which town she was born in, but she's from Germany. And I've been trying to learn German on Duolingo for like, I have a huge streak. It's like 1,300 days.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
still can't speak German.
What?
No, like some stuff. I can talk about potatoes probably.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
I mean,
not really.
it's a true journey. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
even right now, we're still studying the English language, right?
Oh yeah.
It is.
I would not want to learn English as a second language. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
German's kind of like that too, though. Like, it's
Well, they
weird.
have, I believe for them, they have a word for literally every single different
They
thing.
do, but it's just other words smashed together.
Ah,
Yeah,
I see.
there's a lot of like gloves is just hand shoe,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They're
What-
just like put it together.
What is your favorite German word?
Schmutze,
Schmutze?
dirty.
Oh, no.
It's just a nice word. Wait, there's
Oh.
one for like sail too. It's like
Yeah.
Sonnengebut or something. And I'm like,
Snaggaboot.
that's nice. That sounds nice.
That's nice.
It's not that pretty of a language though. Like,
Well,
compared to
but it's very
French.
unique, right?
It is, yeah.
Mm,
And it's
yeah.
interesting to like see, because obviously English is just a mashup of like a bunch of other languages.
Right.
So it's interesting to see like what is similar to English and what's
Mhm.
completely different.
And imagining like when the languages first like branched out, Europe was so tightly knit together that it's so strange to me to think that the languages just developed to such a variability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's my own. thought
Yes,
on it.
yeah. I think language is super interesting.
Yeah. If you could meet anybody, alive or deceased, who would it be?
Oh, this is a fun one. Okay, so I have an acting coach,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me a story about this dude named Warren Robinson.
Okay.
And I would want to meet him because the story of how he just fell into acting is insane. And I think I'd like to hear it from him. I don't know
Wow.
if he's alive or dead. Neither does my coach. He's the sort of guy that if he was dead, he wouldn't want anyone to know.
For those who don't know, what is that story?
Oh, it's a bit, it's not that long. So he got drafted into the Korean War, I believe it was.
Okay.
And he goes to like the conscription office, or whatever. And I guess his name was very similar to that of a college football player.
Right.
So the recruiter is like, you're this college football star. We can't have our boys going on the front lines. You're going to Japan to play football. And like, what's he going to do? He goes with it.
Okay.
Like, if you're going to tell me I don't have to go to war, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll go
yeah.
to Japan and play football. So he plays football in Japan for a while. I don't know what position. I don't know anything about football.
Yeah.
But like wild enough. Then Marlon Brando is filming a movie in Japan. And they're like, we need some people to do this in this scene. And we're going to use the football players. So they picked this Warren guy to be in this movie with Marlon Brando. But the day they were shooting, I don't know, for some reason, they didn't end up shooting that day. And Marlon Brando's like, let's go have beers. So he goes have beers with Marlon Brando. And Marlon's like, I like you. You know, look me up when you're back in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll try and get you into this acting class with Lee Strasberg.
Wow.
Right?
That is insane.
So he goes back to New York and he meets up with Marlon Brando and Lee, and he accepts him into his class.
Wow.
So then he's just in this class with like Marlon Brando and Marilyn Monroe and all of this, like insane.
And
Just fell into it.
and it started from a misidentification.
Yeah, that he just
Wow.
was like, that's insane, and I want to hear that firsthand.
That
Because there's
That would
got to
be-
be other stories like that
oh,
too.
there so has
Like I
to
bet
be.
that dude is just insane.
Yeah. Got
So, yeah.
tons.
Warren Robinson.
That's amazing.
I would like to meet that guy.
So another question I have is, what brings you joy?
What brings me joy? Oh my God, so much stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty joyous person. Like driving when you see cows, big fan of that.
Driving when you see
You know when you're like
cows?
driving on the highway and you're like, oh, there's some cows in the field over there.
Yeah.
Especially when there's babies. Oh my God, they're so cute.
Oh, yes.
I love that. plants, if a plant gets a new leaf, I have a few plants. I'm like, oh, a new leaf. Like just
Yeah.
little simple stuff. It's so dumb.
Hey,
Like-
it's honestly such a thing that some people need to hear a little bit more often sometimes. It's the little things in life
It is. It really is.
that really
Smelling a nice candle. You're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or getting some maple bacon.
Yeah.
Candied
maple bacon.
Candied maple bacon
Yeah,
ice cream. as well,
You want to
too.
go for ice cream? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, you're just like, yes.
That's amazing. So kind of, I'd imagine that on top of that story, you'd be able to find lots of pieces of advice. But what would be some of the best advice that you've been given?
The best advice I've been given?
Mm-hmm.
I think the best advice I've ever received, at least career-wise, was actually from my coach. And he said, nobody cares about your career as much as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really solid advice.
Yeah. And I mean, it really tells people to kind of just drive.
Well,
their own-
exactly. Like, no one, if you sit here, no one's going to come to you. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Nobody wants to hear that. But yeah, if you're going to do it, you have to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thankfully heard that fairly early on.
Good.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Guess I'll just do it myself.
Yeah. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
So we kind of just touched on movies briefly as well too. I'm kind of curious, what movie do you keep rewatching?
I love Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Oh yeah. I don't know
I've
why.
never seen it.
You've never seen Mean Girls?
I know. People say the same thing.
It's so quotable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, I'm just drawn to it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
No, that's fair. Is there a specific character you really admire or like, or?
I really like Tina Fey in it, but Tina Fey's good in anything,
Mhm.
in my opinion. They're all good. Amy Poehler, she's
Yes.
the Mean Girls mother. She's hilarious.
Mhm.
Like they're all good. Lindsay Lohan did great. They were all just good.
Mm-hmm.
Who could pick?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It could be very tough.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, who could?
So when did you first watch it?
When did it come out?
Oh goodness.
I don't even. Probably around then. And you just go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just having a sad day, watch Mean Girls.
Yeah. So when you were, when it first came out, you were watching Mean Girls. What was your favorite game as a child?
My favorite game as a child.
Yeah.
Oh man. Like physical game, video game,
Any
game.
Any
I really
game.
liked the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
That was a good game. I think that was the first Zelda game I ever played.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever beat it because I was a child, right? Like I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
You just get to mess around on the first
So
level
yeah, exactly.
a
You
few
walk around,
times
maybe
and-
hit some stuff with a sword. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
top notch.
Yeah, just having some fun.
Yeah, living my best life.
Yeah. What would you consider as your favorite memory? Not your best memory.
Favorite memory?
Yeah.
Oh man. Probably buying my first car, actually.
Hey.
I feel like that was just really symbolic of like freedom.
Yeah.
And it was not a good car.
No.
Like, no, they never are.
They never are.
I loved it though. Like, it's just a good memory.
So like, how much was your first one then?
$2,000, I think.
Ah, classic.
Yeah, it was cheap,
Yeah.
garbage. Oh, it's great.
I can't remember because you find sometimes the weirdest models or like the weirdest prices as well too. I found one car that was on for $500.
Maybe it was mine.
It might have been, but it was
I
this
forg-
car back in the 80s.
Oh,
Like,
no.
It was a very old model, and I was like,
Big boxy.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I was like, yeah, no, I don't think that's
This
the car.
is not for me. Oh, come on.
Yeah,
I feel like your first car has to be just a heap of garbage.
it has.
Like
to
that's
be.
the rule.
that is
yeah,
the rule.
you
Just like
gotta-
the first apartment has got to be box furniture.
It does, yeah.
It has to be.
Has to be.
Has to be. So if you weren't acting or pole dancing, what would be your profession
If I weren't doing either of those things.
if you hated both of them?
Oh, hated them.
What would be your next thing?
What would be my next move? That's a tough one. Perhaps something in healthcare, but not like patient facing. Like maybe one of those like hunched over people in the lab testing samples.
Ah,
Because I think biology is interesting, but I don't really like sick people.
No.
So yeah,
absolutely.
some sort of lab person.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else on your bucket list? Maybe you want to share?
I haven't thought too much about a bucket list.
I know, right?
I'm not that old yet.
It's a weird thing to
It is
just.
yeah. What would I want to do before I die? I'd like to travel more. I
Yeah.
haven't traveled much
To Berlin.
to Berlin.
Yeah.
Or anywhere. Yeah. Europe in general. I mean, you can hit a couple in a trip, I think. They're
You
pretty
certainly can.
squished together over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess mostly that. I'm sure there's things,
Mhm.
and I'm going to think of all of them the minute we're done.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, ah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that kind of is perfect timing because I am super excited to get into pole dancing.
Speaking of being done.
And I would just like to thank you again, Christine Ottley, for joining us today. We will be featuring you again later tonight at Sway
dancing.
Aerial Fitness, pole dancing. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Any tips final tips you got for me to give me a heads up?
Point your toes.
Okay, point my toes.
Just point your toes.
I can do that.
I hope so.
I
Who wouldn't be able to do that? That would be crazy.
have no idea.
That's silly.
Okay, excellent. All right, folks. That's all the time that we have today. I'm Clark. He's Perry. This has been the Windy City's finest. Christine Ottley, everybody. We'll join you again here shortly.
It's Clark and Perry.
On the case.
Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry. Do what it takes. Da-na-na-na. Clark and Perry. Investigate.
The activities and interests of local artists in the Windy City's finest throughout both Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Alberta. Available on TELUS, Optic TV, On Demand, VidFlex, YouTube, and more for limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Da-na-na-na.